All right, welcome back to Missing Persons TV. I'm Brian Ladd with my co-host Deborah. Today is Sunday, May 3rd, 2009, 9:26 p.m. Tonight we're going to be discussing 7 cases. We have 3 new cases, and we're going to be discussing 3 cases from 2006. And then we have an update for Adji Desir. But before we get started, Deborah, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing tonight?
Fine. And Galena, we have Galena on. If you guys don't remember, Galena helped Gail St. John assist in the search for Adji Desir. So we have Galena on the phone right now. Galena, are you there?
I'm here.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Fine. I'm glad that you contacted me today on an update on the search. So what happened today? I know you went out to search in some of the areas that we talked about. So what went on?
Well, it all started with Gail getting in touch with me and asked me to go back to search another area
Okay.
that she had a strong feeling for when she was here. We didn't get to that area, so that sparked another search. What I did is I got my nephew and his wife and my son's girlfriend, plus my dog. I have a boxer. We decided to take a ride out there and see what we could come up with.
Mm-hmm.
Halfway out there, I was told by my nephew that his wife is sees dead people. I don't know what that means exactly. I just knew that I was excited about that because that means that she was in tune in some way.
Mm-hmm.
I asked her what she got with what she thought about Adji, and what she said was that she sees when it happened, right away she felt that she saw Adji falling into a hole. And so that kind of went along with what you were saying, in a drainage ditch of some sort. Because I didn't tell her anything about being friends with you guys. She did know that I went out here and searched previously. She did know that part.
Mm-hmm.
So on the way out to him, I believe she showed me an area in which the kind of area that she felt he was in was an open area, not a dense area, not an orange grove area, but an open area. So that sparked an interest there because I know the area that you had in your drawings, not in your drawings, but in your mapping, an area there that you called an island.
Right. Then that's the place that was surrounded by barbed wire, or at least on that one side.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So Gail and Tammy and I wouldn't go over the barbed wire. Um, Obviously, it's private property. That's another reason we wouldn't do it. But I've got young people with me today, so they don't really care about stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we go out there, and I asked her if we drive by, if she would get a sense or a feeling, and she said actually she does better walking. So I said okay. I decided to take that route. We went out there, and she said this would be a good place to stop. Well, lo and behold, it's exactly where your GPS coordinates took us to when I was with the camera.
Okay.
They immediately got out, and of course they jumped the barbed wire fence, let the dog through, and went on back into there was an opening there that she said she wanted to go to. So they went back there. I stayed with the vehicle on the highway for numerous reasons. Won't go over that, but
Mm-hmm.
pardon me. So they went out there and searched around and came back, and you can tell people what you expect of them, and sometimes they do other things, but they brought back a shoe with them.
Okay.
I was upset about that, but what are you going to do? What's done is done. So it doesn't seem to be a shoe from Adji. It's not the right color.
Right. I know you and Deborah just discussed that.
Right.
It doesn't seem to be the shoe, but anyways, the shoe was found out there.
Right.
Okay.
Well, while they were out there, they wanted to go around the field, around the in the center, like you call it an island, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
On Google Earth, it's surrounded by
yeah.
water, but I know that's dried up. But on that, it's surrounded
Right.
by water. I couldn't see the barbed wire though on the Google Earth.
Right. So anyway, they wanted to go around to the other side of this island, and but you'd have to jump another barbed wire fence.
Okay.
Back behind that barbed wire fence is wild boar and
Mhm.
cows. Those will charge you. So without a weapon of some sort, they didn't feel comfortable with doing that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No.
So
Stay
they,
safe.
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry. Yeah. I mean, that's a good idea. I mean, it's definitely
Oh yeah, they don't want
wild
to go out
boar
there.
are
Right.
they are dangerous. Even though they're small, they're dangerous.
Absolutely. So we left that area, shoe in tow. So I'm going to take a picture of that and send it to you. We can put it on your site there, and
Right.
y'all can see for yourself. Make your own judgment. And we left that area, went back to the orange groves where the banana trees were. And jumped over that fence, because it's Sunday, they're
Mhm.
closed. Nobody there to ask permission, we just go ahead and jump over the fence. Walk down, all the way down to the area where you could go through the gate, or the fencing, and come out into the orange groves. That's something we didn't do before because of the alligators. Gail and Tamara weren't too comfortable with that. I wasn't thrilled about it, but I would have gone a little further. Anyway, we did it today. Came back. We did stand above an alligator, literally about 2 feet from him. Got pictures of that. And what we noticed was is that we could walk up in through the banana trees. So we did that, which is something we didn't feel comfortable with doing last time. We got around the back side of the banana tree. There is, if you go in through the back side of the banana trees, another island-like area inside of, literally inside of the banana tree.
Mhm.
The young lady that I was with it, so she sees dead people, didn't feel comfortable back in there. I said, are you worried about getting arrested for trespassing? Are you worried about alligators? Well, what sort of feeling are you having? She said, none of the above, I just don't feel good. I just don't feel comfortable being here. We gotta leave here. So, you know what? That's the same feeling Gail had. Gail was
Mhm.
not comfortable with being back there. She was extremely nervous, wanted to get out of the area. So we
Okay.
left. That's when we ventured on over to the playground. The young lady, I asked her to sit on the bench where Adji was last at. She sat there. Told her to concentrate on Adji. She said she felt that Adji was picked on by some older boys. Now, mind you, keep in mind, I did not go over with her what we had spoken about previously. She doesn't know anything about your website,
Mhm.
Gail's website, none of the above. But she said that there was 2 or 3 teenage boys picking on him, and that they pushed him down. And she felt like he hit his head on the cement right there at the bench, and that the boys took him to the house, their house, and the parents were afraid of what the police would think, so they hid his. Now I asked her, do you think they could have hid him in a closet? Do you think they hid him in the bathroom? You know, where do you think they hid this boy? She says the closet is probably the most practical place for them to hide it. Once it got dark, that she feels that they took him out of the house at that point. What they did with him after that, she doesn't know. But earlier in the day, she felt like he fell in a hole. So, you know, this is a young lady that's not had any training or anything as to that. All right, so we get done with that. We searched the orange grove. We searched the first sighting. So then we went across the street to where Gail had first initially asked me to go back out to Amonte for.
Mhm.
She's not sure if it has anything to do with Adji, but she knows that there's a body out there. I'm going to send you numerous pictures of that area, and you'll see how dense the brush is, but it looks like there was homeless people living back in there. There's a lot of tarp,
Okay.
a lot of tarp, a lot of beer bottles,
Mhm.
and so it would not be unlikely for there to be a dead homeless person back in there. However, it's not something that you can get in and just walk through. It's like little areas of
Well,
stairs, and then
But if
you
there's
can
homeless
walk.
people there, then maybe possibly maybe they had seen Adji. Maybe they could be interviewed. Maybe they know something. You know.
That's possible. We didn't see any homeless people today, but there was definitely signs of homeless living in that area.
Right.
Yeah.
Gail actually
So-
showed me this. When you look on Google Earth or actually Microsoft Maps, look for blue tarps. Blue tarps in areas like in downtown areas, especially next to bridges and stuff. You can actually see the blue tarps from space.
Yeah,
That's a general sign of the homeless people are there.
yeah. Yeah, I'm sure she did send something, and you know, whether it's Adji or not, I don't know. But like I said, it would not be unlikely that there's a dead person back up in there. I'm sure there's quite a few dead people up in the mountains.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that nobody's out there looking for them. You know.
Exactly.
Okay. Hey, well, thank you for keeping up the search and stuff. You know, I certainly hope that
Well,
we
do what
don't
I
find
can.
Adji there. I'm sorry, what?
I will definitely do what I can. If we get people down here with dogs and they need somebody to guide them out here, what we've already been through, I can do that too. You know, I'll let you guys got my contact information.
Yep, we sure do, and I know that you and Gail have been in contact with each other. So if you guys do anything, you know, please keep us updated as well.
Well, that's what they did. I sent a little message to you asking you if you want the pictures. At the same time, I sent.
Yeah, we definitely want the pictures. Yeah, I'll post them. I'll post them tonight. And thank you. And thank you again, Galena. The website is findadji.com. Once again, you know, get his picture out there. Somebody may have seen Adji, and you know, and they didn't know it was Adji. So it's really important that if Adji isn't where a lot of people think he may be, then that means he's alive and he needs to be located. Okay, Deborah, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Did you want to bring anything up about Adji in case I missed anything about the forums or anything?
Just
Thanks
for
again,
people
Galena.
to keep posting, continue reading about Adji, share his picture, and emailing the media to get the little dude some coverage. All the information is there at findadji.com, and I thank you to everyone who is doing that. Thank you to Galena and everyone who is out searching again today.
No problem.
And thanks again. Okay.
You guys have a good night.
You too.
Continue to listen. I'm going to let you go, okay?
Okay. Good night and thanks again.
All right, dear. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye, Deborah.
Okay, so let's get started. First of all, we have 3 new cases that I had gotten done over the past couple of days. I was gone yesterday for a little while. I'm back. I have scanned and posted all the new cases, and they are open. And they are as follows: case number 736, Christine Walters. And case number 737, Briana Marie Nagel. And case number 738, Brittanee Marie Drexel. So let's knock those cases out real quick before we get to our cases from 2007. So the first case is 736. Let me get the graphic up. Uh-oh. Hang on 1 second then. Okay, got it. Okay, this case is 736 Christine Walters. The case was opened on May 1st of 2009. Deborah, did you requested this case yourself? Or did this come from somebody else?
This one was requested via email by Mom to Pool.
Okay. All right. I didn't post the printouts. My black ink and my printer is out. So all that you can see is just a picture. But I did do the dream drawings with the sheet, but I didn't scan them in there. So that's who requested it. What information do we have for Christine?
Christine has been missing since November 14th of 2008.
Okay.
She is actually missing from Humboldt County, California. 23 years old, white female, blonde hair, green eyes. She is actually a student at University of Wisconsin Stevens Point, though. She was on a vacation, and she went missing on vacation.
Okay.
What do you have on her case?
Okay. The first dream drawing says she's coming home in 10 days. Bus ticket 4, purchased online by Soul Tender, Tender. Second dream drawing says flat tire. The number is 693118 741. He hit her. On the third drawing, just says, I think this is a teepee. That's not actually written on there. That's what I wrote. It's like a teepee. I believe that that she is safe. I'm not sure. This is the case you asked me about human trafficking, correct? This is the one you're talking about, Deborah?
Yes, I did, because
Okay.
Mom Too Cool was making comparisons and wondering if that would be the case and wanting you to open the case, not just because she was missing, but because she knew that you looked at a lot of the human trafficking cases, especially Jesse's.
Okay. No, I don't think so, but I'm not sure. But no, it doesn't look like it. At least I don't think so according to this. I think that maybe she did go away, but on her own. She might have had some difficulty getting back, but it says bus ticket and she'll be home in 10 days. So I think we did the math on that one. We said the 11th, May 11th.
Yeah, I think that's what it came up to, because you said that you did it on 1st, so May 11th.
Okay, so hopefully she will be home by May 11th. I also noticed Gail just told me we're actually broadcasting on the wrong station. We're still recording. So if they want to go, if they're in the chat room, they could actually go to the Ustream account, and I'm actually broadcasting the Dream thing. So people really can't see us or hear us right now if they're in the wrong channel. But it'll still record, and if you're looking at this now, you won't even know what I'm talking about. Okay, Deborah.
Well, I was wondering about that.
Yeah, that's what's going on. We're broadcasting and recording. We're just in the wrong channel. And that shouldn't really make any difference at all. I'm not going to stop the show and redo anything. So if they want to, the people in chat, you can just go to, we'll have to, I guess, type that in there for them. Just go to the Brian Streams Ustream channel, or Ustream page or whatever, and it should be on there. And we can restart if you want, but I don't think we should.
Oh, it's up to you.
No, we're good. Okay, so the next case is case number 737. And this is for Briana Marie Nagel. The case was opened May 1st of 2009. What information do we have for Briana? Deborah.
Briana Marie Nagel. She's been missing since April 22nd of 2009. Her date of birth is September 1st, 1992. 16 years old. She's a white female with blonde hair and blue eyes, 5 feet 4 inches tall, 115 pounds. She's missing from Fort Washington, Maryland. The Allegheny County Police Department are the ones in charge of this investigation. They have listed her as endangered missing, and in a lot of cases when they're 16 years old, we see them listed as runaways. So for some reason, they have her listed as endangered and not a runaway status. She has pierced ears, and she was last seen wearing a navy blue hoodie, blue jeans, and pink and white Reebok sneakers. What do you have on her case?
All right, Deborah, so I was just putting out in the chat room where they could go. So I'm going to put a link in there so that the people in the chat room can actually see what we're talking about. Okay, I have two dream drawings from this case. The first dream drawing says she is with him, Washington, D.C. It says Wash, D.C., but I'm pretty sure that's Washington, D.C. Looks like a black male, 17, 18, 19 years old. There's pretty good drawing of him, a pretty detailed drawing of him. He's got pretty big eyes, kind of a long face. So it looks like just wearing a t-shirt or something like that. The second one says she is here. I believe this is a above drawing, like a schematic drawing of some type of house or building, and then she would be in the back room, according to this dream drawing. And that's all I have on the case. But it looks to me like she is, Briana is alive. Anything else on this case, Deborah?
No, I don't have anything else for her.
Okay. So I think I got the chat room issue cleared up. Okay, let's move on to case number 738. Let me get the case open over here. This is Brittanee Marie Drexel. The case was opened May 2nd of 2009. That was yesterday. Deborah, what information do we have for Briana? I'm sorry, not Briana. Brittanee.
For Brit.
Brittanee Marie Drexel, correct?
Right,
Okay.
right.
Sorry
She's the teenager that is missing from Myrtle Beach, who
Okay.
went on spring break and went missing while on spring break. Was not supposed to be on that trip, but she was. Um, she's been missing since April 25th, 2009. That would be a little over a week ago. That would be last Saturday. Her date of birth is October 7th, 1991. 17 years old, missing from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. She's a white female, 5 feet tall, 103 pounds. She has brown hair and blue eyes. Her ears and her nose are pierced. She has blonde highlights in her hair. The last time she was seen, she was seen wearing a white, black, teal, and gray top, along with black shorts, and she was wearing white flip-flops. Now, she lives in Rochester, New York. She just finished her junior year in high school, and she had asked permission to go to Myrtle Beach for spring break and go with her friends. And her mom had said no, and she went ahead and went anyway. Now, while she was on her trip, she was in contact with her mom via her cell phone in the form of text messages and phone calls. And her mom was under the impression that she was sleeping over at a friend's house nearby, so that she was actually still there in New York. And then the last time her mom spoke with her was in the afternoon on Saturday the 25th, the day that she was last seen. And they said that they'd talk again later in the day, and her mom didn't hear from her again. Later on that evening, when they could not locate Brittanee in Myrtle Beach, the friends, red flag went up with them. So that's the circumstances. So we have a teenager missing on a spring break trip. What do you have on this case, Brian?
Okay, thank you. The problem in the chat room is now fixed too, so they can hear and see us. Okay, with Brittanee, there's two dream drawings. I have a Google Earth location that's not really specific though. First one says curtains. She's alive. Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. Carolina is spelled wrong, but I'm almost positive that means South Carolina. Then the letters HL. The second one is a drawing of a man. Could be a young adult. Looks like a white male. Let me turn down my sound. I'm hearing my echo. Real quick. Sorry about that. Is that me, Deborah, or is it? Are you hearing? I'm getting an echo again.
I'm not hearing an echo.
Okay, I'm going to figure out where that's coming from real quick. Let me get in the chat. Sorry, guys. I'm just fixing a problem again. Another technical issue here. I am muted in here, and I don't know why I'm getting my voice coming over and over again. Huh. I'm not sure what's going on. But now I don't hear myself. No, yeah, I do. Okay. This is really... Hang on. So sorry, guys. I've got to fix this. Okay, I'm logging out of chat. Okay, all better. Sorry I had to drop out of chat, but it works. Okay, back to the dream drawings. The dream drawing, it's a picture of a male. Looks like a young adult, white male. It says lots of hair. There's a drawing there, and then there's a H1. That actually might be HL. And then there's a Google Earth map of Mount Pleasant. I don't have anything more specific other than Mount Pleasant. I did find that it does exist, and that's in South Carolina. I do believe that Brittanee is alive, but I am not sure that she's there willingly. That's all I have, Deborah. I mean, we can. I mean, if she's not located soon, we can redo it, but That's what I have. I do have some type of feeling that she is not safe. So that's all.
Okay, something that has gone up recently here, it wasn't a few days ago when I had first started looking at this case. There's a website for Brittanee now.
Okay.
It's
What is it
called-
so I can put it in here?
I put the link in Skype for you.
Okay.
Her website is helpfindbrittanee.com, and Brittanee is spelled Brittanee.
Okay. I got the website up now. So it's www.helpfindbrittanee. And that is a weird spelling, isn't it? With the two E's. Brittanee, right?
Right.
Okay.
Normally it's IE or a Y on the
I
end.
thought it was like Britney. Okay, well, regardless how it's spelled, is there any other names she goes by, or just Brittanee?
From what I've learned, just Brittanee.
Okay. All right. So there's the website. Anything else on this case?
No, I don't have anything else.
Okay. Okay. So now what we're gonna do is we normally do. We're gonna cover 3 cases tonight, and we just go in numeric order. Back in we're still working on 2007 right now. We have 3 cases tonight, and their cases 585, Tammy Leppert, 586, David Spencer and Patrick Warren, on case 588, Justin Gaines. So let's get started with case 585. This is Tammy Leppert. The case was requested to be open. I think it was by Beth on March 29th of 2007. And I got the case open December 29th of the same year. Deborah, what information do we have for Tammy?
And this is for Tammy Lynn Leppert. And Tammy has been missing since July 6th of 1983 from Rockledge, Florida. Her date of birth is February 5th, 1965. She'd be 44 years old right now. She was 18 when she went missing, 5 feet 4 inches to 5 feet 5 inches tall, 105 to 115 pounds, Caucasian female, curly blonde hair, hazel eyes. Her first name is listed as being spelled Tammy. She may also spell it Tammi. And she was last seen wearing a blue denim skirt, a light blue shirt with flower appliques on the shoulders, and flip-flops. It says that she may have been 3 months pregnant at the time that she went missing, but it is not able to be confirmed. It says that she was possibly suffering from some emotional problems at that time too. The last time she was seen was about 11 in the morning. And once again, that's on July 6th of 1983, and she was with a male friend. A friend of Tammy's told authorities that Tammy and this guy had an argument while driving, and the guy told him that they had an argument while they were driving, and he left her standing in a parking lot outside of the Glass Bank, which is by an Exxon gas station, in the area of State Road A1A in Cocoa Beach. And she was carrying a gray purse at that time. Some reports state that she was actually barefoot, but she wasn't. Her mom stated that she did not comb her hair before she left the house that day, which is not like her. Her mom had been trying to get her some treatment, had gotten her some treatment, and was looking into getting her some more at the time that she went missing. Tammy was planning on going to California to possibly star in some movies at that time. She never did end up going to to California. They did check to see if that is what she, when she went missing, if that's what she had done. Investigators checked to see if she had possibly been attacked by someone named Christopher Wilder. Authorities have linked him to at least a dozen disappearances, rapes, murders, and/or attacks of women that occurred in the early to mid 1980s. He was in and out of the Florida region in the same time frame that Tammy went missing. And one of the things that he did as far as luring young females was offering them modeling sessions or tactics to that type of, situation.
It sounds like
in other cases.
Human trafficking all over again, and pedophiles, and what they do to lure people into the business.
Exactly. And Tammy, she was well, she is very, very pretty. And, you know, she was into modeling, acting, things like that. So, she had won several titles at that point, and she had some roles as an actress, little bits in films up to that point. So, you know, that's something that she may have, you know, fallen for actually. They do have it listed that this Christopher Wilder has a violent tendency towards women. It goes all the way back to adolescence. He was put on probation in 1980. He actually pled guilty to sexual battery towards a teenage girl. He was also charged that same year. He visited his home, which was in Australia. He was charged with kidnapping and sexually assaulting 2 teenage girls. His parents bailed him out of jail, and he flew back to the U.S. and said that he would be back down there for his trial, promising to do that. So, you know, he has a history of that behavior that can be confirmed. So whether he's involved or not, you know, we're not sure. There's also somebody called John Crutchley. He's known as the vampire rapist, and they consider him to possibly be a suspect. He ended up getting a life sentence in prison for kidnapping and raping a woman in Orlando and drinking her blood. He committed suicide in prison in 2002. They have not been able to prove that, you know, he was linked to Tammy's case, though. About a month before Tammy went missing, she started acting strange at home. She yelled and screamed. She broke a window with a baseball bat. Her mom took her to a mental health center for a 72-hour observation after she calmed down. They couldn't find anything wrong with her, but her mom was planning to get her a therapist, but she hadn't done that by the time Tammy went missing. So what do you have on this case?
All right, thank you, Deborah. What I have is nothing to do with what all these reports state. Nothing at all. What it says is one dream drawing. This is from December 29th, 2007. It says Tara now is in Las Vegas. Slot machine factory. Stop by 9 shop, and then number 9. And it says, I think that Tammy may not want to be found. She may be using the name Tara. If possible, she works. If this is possible, she works in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm assuming, in a place that makes slot machines. There is a place I've seen it on how they just show how they make something. I forget the gaming industry or something. There is a one big place that makes all the slot machines for Vegas and a lot of other places, and I forget the name of it. But if I find it, I'll post it. So according to this, maybe she went out to Las Vegas or something, and maybe something didn't happen for her. She didn't want to come home, and possibly he's working at this place that makes slot machines as of December 29th of 2007. That's really all I have on the case. So I'm not getting any foul play or anything like that as far as this goes. I mean, what do you think? A redo or what?
Well, I think it would be great to redo her case, but not as a huge priority because of the age she was when she went missing. And the age she is now, she's 44 now.
Okay.
And she's been missing since she was 18.
Okay.
So, you know, it's been quite some years, and obviously she's an adult. Wow, she's older than I am, so, and I thought I was old. So, you know, she's allowed to be missing if she wants to be, but as far as, you know, doing a redo, that'd be a great thing to do and possibly, you know, bring some further information for her family that's still, you know, worried about her.
Okay. So let's move on then. The next case is case number 586. This is David Spencer and Patrick Warren. The case was requested to be opened by a cat on March 18th of 2007. The dream drawings were completed December 30th of the same year. Deborah, what information do we have for these two?
Okay, David and Patrick, they went missing together. David Spencer, both the boys have been missing since December 26th of 1996 from Birmingham, UK. David's date of birth is December 14th, 1983. He was 12 years old at the time. White, Caucasian, white male. Red hair, hazel eyes. Where they lived, they call that area Chelmsley Wood. There has not been much information, you know, in the searches that they've done and what they've tried to do to find the two boys. Let me pull the stats up here for Patrick. The parents have made pleas of, you know, where are our boys' bodies?
What?
So, you know, I mean, they're trying to. I guess the family feels, you know, something bad has happened, and you know, this is one of those cases where I'm not able to get as much information, you know, because it's not in the United States. You know, other countries there's not quite as much. But
But
Patrick
the
Warren,
UK though,
his
the UK does pay great attention to missing people though. This is from the UK, right?
right, they just don't have as many resources as we do. I guess some cases get more attention,
I know the media
but
sure does love it,
yeah, exactly.
especially Sky
Well,
News.
Well, Patrick, the other one, you know, because they're both missing together. His date of birth, January 4th, 1985. He was 11 years old at the time. White male, blonde hair, blue eyes. His nickname is Paddy, Paddy. What do you have on this case?
All right, thank you. I just googled their names, and you're right. There's not too much up there. I did find a photo gallery, no news or no really anything recent at all. I've got some really weird stuff on this one. It's just two dream drawings. So the first one says 1603. TR works with food company, white coat, BL, and I wrote my initials, which is Brian. I don't know why I wrote that, but it must have meant something back then. I don't know why I wrote my initials. I'm not associated with this case. Definitely not after this one. The next one says Satanic Offering. He follows Book of Satan, New Moon Phase, New of Moon Phase. Bodies are 6.66 miles from 1969 home, United Kingdom. That's an address. Okay. 6.66 miles is definitely a location. Then what it says below, it says, I do not think these people are alive. I also believe that the person killed them is involved in some sort of satanic worship. I checked, and there is a book of Satan, and it might provide clues as to what happened to these two boys. And again, I hope I'm wrong. The drawing of the man up the top. He's wearing some type of white coat, so maybe medical industry or something like that. And this is definitely some type of satanic ritual or something like that. I do know that there are groups of people call themselves the pagans and a lot of things like that, but I don't think those type of people actually get into the evil stuff or whatever. I know it's definitely not Wicca. Wicca wouldn't even think about that. So I don't know. But I do know that there's a location. So we get their home and goes 6.66 miles and do a radius like we normally do and put that up there. That's what I'd say to do in this case. What do you think, Deborah?
No, I
Okay,
completely
just making
agree
sure
with
you're
that. Sorry, I was trying to look for some other information.
Yeah, I was
think
too. I was too. This is unfortunately I don't think they're alive, and this could be I could be totally wrong on this, especially when it gets off to like satanic offerings or something like that. I could have been thinking something like, or saw something on TV, or anything to to dream like this. And this wasn't even in lucid state. This was actually a dream drawing, so I don't know. I really don't know, but I do know that we could come up with a location with 666, 6.6 miles. And the UK does use miles, I believe. So, so find out where they went missing. We'll do a Google Earth and put the image up there. Okay.
Okay.
All right. The next case. I got to that. Next case is number 588, and this is for Justin Gaines. The case was requested to be opened by Erica. I'm assuming probably around the same time as the last one. No, it's not. I was given your direct email from Tara. She directed me to take a look at this. I was contacted you, but RV on my son Justin Gaines, 18 months. Okay, this is the request came from his mother. So anyways, the case was open on January 5th of 2008. So we've actually moved to 2008 now. Thank goodness. So we're a little over a year behind now. Anyways, so the case was open, like I said, January 5th of 2008. What information do we have for Justin, Deborah? And I do know that there's another case linked to this, at least what I have.
Okay, Justin, his middle name is Glenn with one N. So this is for Justin Glenn Gaines. He's been missing since November 2nd, 2007 from Duluth, Georgia.
G-L-E-N, I'm sorry?
G-L-E-N, yes, Glenn with one N.
Okay, I added that.
His date of birth is March 31st, 1989. He's 18 years old when he went missing, 20 years old now. 5 feet 10 to 5 feet 11 inches tall, 210 to 230 pounds, Caucasian male with brown hair and blue eyes. He may use 2 different alias names, and those would be Brad Allen, possibly Brad Shewe, S-H-E-W-E, and he, according to the report I've got here, he does carry false ID with him for both of those names. He has pierced ears, and at the time that he went missing, his hair was cut in a buzz cut. He is into weightlifting, so he has a muscular build. He was last seen wearing a gray long-sleeved Abercrombie shirt, ripped jeans, flip-flops, and diamond stud earrings. Now, the last place Justin was seen was at a place called Wild Bill's, and that's a nightclub. It's off of Pleasant Hill Road in Duluth, Georgia. And the last time they saw him was about 1:30 in the morning, and that was once again on November 2nd of 2007. He was a regular at this club. At the time he was there that night, he did not have his car or his wallet with him, and he was trying to find a ride home. He was trying to get back to his mom's house, and his mom, her name is Erica, as you had mentioned earlier. Her name is Erica Wilson. She has been very active in his case and other things with missing persons. I'll get to that in a second. But he was actually there on a break from school at the time. He's a college student. Now, her home is in Snellville, Georgia. Witnesses said that he appeared to be either intoxicated or under the influence of drugs, and he may have got into some type of altercation with another person at the club that night. He did make several calls from his cell phone to his friends asking for a ride home, but none of them were able to help out. The last time his phone was used was shortly before 2 in the morning. They have not found anything of Justin since then. He never got home. They've never heard from him. They couldn't come up with anything. In June of 2007, several months before he went missing, Justin was arrested. Police found him drunk and passed out in his car. He had an open bottle of vodka in the car with him. He had fake ID with him. They charged him with possession of alcohol by a minor, second-degree forgery, and having an open container. He had a court hearing scheduled for November 21st, which was a little less than 3 weeks after the time he went missing. And he didn't show up for court either. His family says that they were aware he had the pending charges, but they don't think that that had anything to do with him going missing. He did have a big reputation for being a partier, which that happens, you know, with young ones in that age bracket, college students, whatever. Some of them do like to do those things. He was attending college in Athens, Georgia at the time. He graduated from Brookwood High School the year prior. He was known to keep in contact, close contact with his family, so they don't think he went missing on his own. Another thing is there's no evidence of foul play in his case. Although there have been a lot of the things that I've read online, it's been talked about quite a bit in this case. You know, that something bad most likely happened to Justin in that respect. But they don't have anything to prove that. There are several of his friends that have not cooperated with police really well in this case. What do you have on it?
All right, thanks, Deborah. This I was looking at this in the relationship to case 608, which is Kyle Fleshman, I believe it is. Kyle Fleshman.
Right.
There is, as far as my dream drawings goes, there's a definite connection. But anyways, let me read these first. The dream drawings were completed on January 5th, 2008. The first one says Jay went with J.G. Tina to Nashville. He is in trouble. Sorry, I've got to correct some really bad spelling errors. He is in trouble. CTT, which could be closed television. It should be CCT, I believe, closed circuit television. I'm pretty sure CTT meant closed circuit television. Walmart will show the two together. Wanted for theft and drug possession. TS, 26-year-old, thin, white female. Remember this now. 7'3", and then 54 inches. It says 5'4", and one, it could be 5'4". That's just a quote. So anyway, 7'3", 5'4". I'm just reading out the bottom. There's a drawing of a female. Initials may be TS up there. The second dream drawing says, friends not lying to police. 72-161 North. They left at 3:07 a.m. Black digital clock and truck. And it notes, I did see the time. Garmin GPS, which we found out is a brand of GPS receivers or whatever. iPhone red. The next one says, white trailer. He will come home. The number 273629/31. And then the notes say, I think Justin went with a young woman named Tina to Nashville, Tennessee, and could possibly staying with her in a white trailer. I also think the woman is may be wanted by the police, and Justin may also be in trouble because of his connection to her. I do remember a small GPS device and a digital clock with the time of 3:07 a.m. on it. I believe this is the time Justin may have met Tina. So far, I do not know of any connections to any other missing person cases. That was at the time. Now, if you read down some of the research that was done, for some reason or another, we related this case to case number 608. I don't have a graphic up, but we will be doing case 608 pretty soon. This is for Kyle Fleshman. And the website is helpfindkyle.com. Are you typing something to me, Deborah?
Yes, I gave you a couple of links. I gave you a
Oh, okay.
link for justingaines.com.
Okay, let me stay on
And
Justin.
I also gave you a link for MySpace for the Justin Time Foundation, which was started by Justin's mom. And she did that because since he was 18 years old, there was a delay in looking for him. Since he had turned 18, he was considered a legal adult. So that put delays in place.
Okay.
And the Justin Time Foundation is created in order to help families with searching, with all aspects of having a missing loved one.
Great. I put both links. Both links are up there. So please visit those. Let me just go with the connection I have to 608. I know we're all sort of thinking nobody thinks this case is related, but I do. Anyways, case number 608, Kyle Fleshman. I know we'll bring this up later. The first dream drawing says, thin white female, dark hair, 26-year-old Tracy, TN, meth cooking, okay, which would be methamphetamines. The next one says Nashville Park, 29 blocks, propane tank. This is a drawing of the same trailer, I believe, the same exact trailer that's in case number 588, which is Justin Gaines. And there's some other things in there that I don't think are a coincidence. There's TS, like I said, Tina, 26-year-old white, thin female, that some of the numbers match up. So I believe there's a direct link to both of these cases. So there, like I said, there's a link between Kyle Fleshman and Justin Gaines. What do you think? I know you probably haven't seen case 608, but if you do look at it, Deborah, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Yes, I have seen that one, and I've actually heard you talk about them possibly being related before. I do remember that.
So I think we connect these two cases. I believe that wanted for police possibly by manufacturing of drugs, i.e. methamphetamines or something along those lines, maybe making crack cocaine or something like that. And there's one other thing I wanted to bring up. I had told on case 608, this is why I wanted to make this a priority too. I told Elizabeth that I'd do another dream drawing for Kyle Fleshman, and I did not do it. It's been over a year. So let's get that done. Okay.
Okay.
So like I said, there's no death symbols or nothing like that on this case, but um, I think that Justin might be in some sort of trouble or something like that, but nothing that bad where he couldn't just say, hey, I'm alive, I'm safe, let people know where he's at. And then this female that he's with maybe she's responsible for the disappearance of both of them for some reason or another. I don't know. A lot of times when people get in trouble and they do something, they also disappear. So it doesn't have to mean foul play. But that's what I got. Anything else, Deborah?
No, I don't have anything else.
Okay. So I think we covered the cases tonight. Tomorrow we will have 3 more cases. Am I missing anything else? I think we pretty much covered what we need to do. Sorry about the technical issues. We got that fixed. The recording should be just fine. I guess that's it.
You might want to
swine flu. Swine flu.
Your swine flu form.
Oh, yeah, okay. I have a graphic for that too. Since I made it, I might as well put it up there. No, I don't. Either way, don't worry about that. That's not going to work either. You probably can't see that. I made a graphic for findcindy.com. We do have a new website, www.findcindy.com. Deborah, do you want to mention that at all, real quick?
Yes. Findcindy.com is for Cynthia Ann Macklin. She has been missing since January 28th of 2009 from Bacliff, Texas. Her mom, Deb, is running the Find Cindy site, and there will be more information up there shortly. Cynthia, she was 15 at the time that she went missing. She's turned 16 since then. It is believed that she could be still in the Texas area, particularly in and around Dallas, from some of the work that has been done and some of the looking. So anyone who has information, if they could go to findcindy.com, register, share your information. If there's anyone that is willing to print off a poster, get her, her face and, her information out there, that's really, really important.
Okay. Thank you. So once again, that's findcindy.com. Okay, swine flu now. That's just a joke up there. We do have that website for the swine flu, the H1N1 virus. Can you see that graphic? I put that picture up that you sent me again. But don't do this. I thought that was really cute. So anyways, that's up there. There was a dream drawing from last night. And remember, guys, this is a dream. Okay, it doesn't mean that it's real. It's going to come true or anything like that. This is a dream. This could have, what's going on in my mind. But I was not thinking about religion last night. We did psychic talk with Gail St. John and Betty, and I had brought this up. This is from last night, and basically, what it sort of says is that if you believe in Christianity, a lot of Christians believe that there's something called the rapture. The rapture is when God takes his chosen people, Deborah, you know more about this than I do. The rapture is when God takes his people, ascends them into heaven before the end of the world, before the earth is destroyed by fire and brimstone. Correct?
Well, what you're talking about and what you're referring to is not quite exactly along with my Christian beliefs.
Okay. Well, no. A lot of Christians do believe in something called the rapture. It's also called.
Not this one.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's good because as far as I know, I've listened to both the Old and New Testament, and I also did some research. I don't even believe the rapture is mentioned in the Bible, but a lot of people do believe that there is something called the rapture or the carry-off. This dream right here says the great carry-off. I think what it's referring to is the H1N1 virus because it says it specifically on this piece of paper. Mainly the people that are affected by the swine flu H1N1 virus this year, before December 24th, 2009, are Christians. Apparently, it's supposed to do some research, the people that are affected, I guess, believe in the Christian faith. And they are the ones that are going to be building up antibodies for the real plague, which is supposed to hit December 24th of 2012. I'm telling you it's a dream. I'm not spreading any rumors, but apparently it would make sense in a way. Because if you do get the swine flu, then apparently a lot of people are getting it. It doesn't seem to be too dangerous. You will somehow have type of immunities to the next one, which I guess in theory would be possible. But if it's a different, I don't know. I'm just telling you that's what it says. People asked about it. Remember, it's a dream. Do you understand what Deborah? Did I make that kind of clear though? About what the dream says?
Yeah, I understood what you said.
Okay.
I'm quite sure that your listeners will too.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in that case. But these are my dreams. Okay, that's what it says. That's posted. Anything else?
No, not really. As far as the site for swine flu, there's a lot of information.
I forgot
posted.
the URL. It's a swine flu board, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, swine flu board, BOARD. Go ahead, Deborah.
Well, anyone that is, interested in what's going on, there's a lot of information there. Mainly what's posted has been taken from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and from the World Health Organization. So there's, information regarding, everything with your lifestyle, the do's and don'ts, what happens if you do get sick, various professions that could be more affected than others, such as teachers, people in the healthcare profession, also information regarding pregnant women, and if they were to come in contact with it, there's information on there with a holistic approach, things you can do, that with certain, things you can take and stuff. Obviously, nothing that's posted there, it's all, referenced with links of, where it's taken from and such. But there's a lot of really good information there, and it is updated with how many cases, where they're located, as far as confirmed cases, and as far as how many deaths there have been.
Right. And from what I know, first of all, my dreams don't even qualify for that forum. Okay. So this is, like I said, remember that's just a dream. I'm expecting though there's going to be a huge increase in the number of cases in Mexico. Like I said, we talked about mortality rates, and they seem pretty low in the United States. It seems like this is just a normal, the normal mortality rate of the normal flu. So if that's the case, then in Mexico has to be hugely underreporting the amount of cases that they have to have all those deaths. So I'm beginning to think, and that's probably not their fault. Like I said, they probably, a lot of people just get sick and they just get over it. They don't go to the hospital. They don't have health care. I don't go to the hospital. So that being said, I think that yes, be prepared for it, but I don't think at this point that the strain that's out there is not any more dangerous than I'm seeing than the normal flu. Do you kind of agree, Deborah, or disagree, or?
I'd say that I agree with that, and if it wasn't for everything that being said, I doubt that most people would even seek medical treatment for the flu.
Right.
So
it's new. I guess that's new. That's because that's why it's scary. I guess everybody's hoping and praying that it does not mutate into something that's as dangerous as, let's say, the bird flu, which I think had a mortality rate of 20 or 30%. So that's something we definitely would definitely cause panic. But I think even if everybody gets the swine flu, maybe that's a good thing to start building up some resistance to it, right? I mean, every year we get sick, so you know what I'm saying? I mean, might as well learn about it, now than before it gets really, really serious.
Well, you mentioned increase in the amount of cases.
Yeah, I'm saying 100,000 cases in Mexico. That's how many people I think have it in Mexico right now.
Well, I saw
they had that number of deaths
right here by me.
Right.
We had the cases by me double.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm talking 100,000 cases in Mexico right now.
Really?
Yeah, and that's not coming from anybody but my brain. But I'm just saying it only makes sense to have 200 deaths. You're going to have that many infected people because the mortality rate is not going to change across the border if it's the same virus.
It's not more deadly in Mexico than it is here in the United States.
No, it's just being underreported, which I think is a major problem because they're freaking everybody out. Look, 200 deaths. Oh my gosh, let's shut down schools and everything. But what if the mortality rate is the same thing as a normal flu? Then what's the big deal? You see what I'm getting at? I mean, we don't shut down schools because of the regular flu. So all I'm saying is that I think that the number of cases are way higher than what's being reported in Mexico. I'm talking 1,000, 10,000%. That's what
Well,
I think.
I would have to agree with that the number of cases are underreported. But you know, I
The
said
deaths have to be
we're
reported.
talking, and you said it, and I said it also about it not being more deadly across the border.
Mhm.
But if you look at some areas of Mexico
Mhm.
and the way the country is developed,
Everybody's in Mexico
they
City.
have a disadvantage, you know, when it comes to those of us in the United States. They don't have, you know, the quality of life
Right.
as far
What
as
I'm saying is, there's probably 100,000 people that
a lot of them
survived
may
it.
not be as healthy to begin with.
Yeah, there's probably 100,000 people that had the flu and got over it, and it was swine flu. I mean, because if you think about it, if you have 200 deaths, the only thing that's really going to be reported are the deaths, because they have to report those. Those coming to the hospital, they know. The rest of, I mean, how do we know? I just can't see pinpoints all over the map and nobody else in between being infected. I don't buy that. I believe that there's thousands and thousands of cases, maybe even a million cases. I don't know yet, but it just seems that and this is good in a way because there's nobody dying. Okay, you know what I'm saying? This is good. That at this point, I don't. From what I'm hearing, it's not anything more dangerous than the regular flu. Right? Remember, I'm not a doctor. I'm just looking at what I see. That's
Well,
all.
I do think though that people in Mexico have a lot harder time dealing with it if they get
Sure.
sick in some of those areas because
Sure.
you know, and they may be more apt for it to be fatality because of them not having the things that we have. They may not be receiving regular medical care. You know, based on the way the country's developed, I mean, they may not have, you know, they don't have what we have. Some of those areas don't have proper drinking water.
Well, right. No, I
You know,
understand
they
that. Okay.
eat properly.
I understand all that. But I'm just saying, I think that there's got to be a lot more cases out there than there are for that number of deaths, regardless of whatever. Because I'm just saying that's what I think. That's just an opinion. I wouldn't be surprised if
Well,
all
I
of a
think
sudden,
there's a lot more
breaking
too.
news, 10,000
I agree
people,
with that.
100,000 people have been infected in the United States, you know, and we're in Mexico. I mean, I think that there's probably thousands of people in the United States that all of a sudden had some, you know, felt ill or something like that, and you know, and we're better the next day. I mean, I don't know. So, but what I'm saying, if the mortality rate is the same thing as the normal flu, then I don't think anybody should panic, unless this flu is able to mutate a lot faster than, you know, and get a lot more dangerous than anything else. But I don't know. I think panic does more harm than good, though. Panic really doesn't help anybody. Matter of fact, when I flew a 172 during pilot training, there's a little button in there. It's a panic button. It's a big red button on the console, and it's a panic button. It's supposed to remind you that in times of crisis, do not panic, especially when you're flying an airplane. You know that? Okay. But that's all I got. Thanks, Deborah.
You're welcome.
Okay, we'll see you tomorrow at 8 o'clock. You know, 8 o'clock, 8:30, 9:30. I guess whenever we feel like getting to it. But generally, we're supposed to be on 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, -5 GMT, on Missing Persons TV. You can get that to the URL up at the top. Please visit the forums. Post information. You have it on any missing people or whatever. Okay, good night, guys.